In the early 2010s, a mysterious website appeared on the dark web. It looked like Amazon, but for illegal drugs. And at its center was one man, Ross Ulbricht, a physics graduate turned digital outlaw. This is the story of the Silk Road and the man who built and lost it all. Ross William Ulbricht was born in Austin, Texas in 1984. A gifted student, he studied physics at the University of Texas and later earned a master's in materials science at Penn State. But it wasn't science that captured his imagination, it was freedom. Economics, libertarian philosophy, and cryptocurrency became his obsessions. In his own words, he wanted to build an economic simulation that showed how a free market could function without government interference. In 2011, Ross launched the Silk Road. Hidden within the anonymous Tor network, it allowed users to buy and sell almost anything, primarily drugs, using Bitcoin. He operated under the alias Dread Pirate Roberts, inspired by the Princess Bride, passing the identity to make it seem like a movement rather than a person. The site was revolutionary, a self-contained market with vendor reviews, dispute resolution, and even escrow. All completely decentralized and anonymous. The Silk Road exploded in popularity. At its height, the marketplace hosted nearly 1 million users and facilitated over $200 million in sales. Drugs, forged documents, hacking services, it was all there. Ross believed this reduced violence by taking drug sales off the streets, but law enforcement saw it differently, as a growing hub of organized crime. Behind the scenes, U.S. federal agents were closing in. The FBI, DEA, and Homeland Security launched a multi-year undercover operation. They tracked down early posts Ulbricht made on programming forums under his real name before Silk Road launched. One tiny slip, a question about Tor server configurations linked to his personal Gmail. Meanwhile, 2 federal agents, ironically assigned to the case, were secretly stealing Bitcoin from the investigation and trying to extort Ulbricht. On October 1, 2013, Ulbricht was arrested in a San Francisco library, caught red-handed with his laptop open, logged into the Silk Road admin panel. Federal agents seized files, chat logs, and a diary detailing his role in the creation and operation of the site. In total, Ulbricht had amassed 170,000 Bitcoin worth billions today. He was charged with multiple crimes including narcotics trafficking, computer hacking, money laundering, and the rarely used kingpin statute, engaging in a continuing criminal enterprise. In 2015, Ross stood trial in New York. The defense admitted he started the site but claimed he later passed control to others. The prosecution painted him as the mastermind of an online drug empire. Although he was never charged with murder, the prosecution introduced chat logs suggesting Ulbricht tried to order hits on people he believed threatened the site. No actual murders occurred, and these charges were never tried in court, but they influenced the judge heavily. He was convicted on all counts. In May 2015, Ross Ulbricht was sentenced to 2 life terms plus 40 years, with no possibility of parole. The judge cited the need for deterrence and the seriousness of his crimes. Many were shocked. Even violent offenders often receive lighter sentences. Soon after, 2 federal agents on the case were arrested for corruption and theft, raising questions about fairness in Ross's trial. Over time, Ross's story sparked a movement. Supporters argue he was a non-violent, first-time offender who didn't deserve to die in prison. His petition for clemency has gained over 650,000 signatures. Public figures like Edward Snowden, Ron Paul, and many in the crypto space support his release. In 2021, it was rumored that President Trump considered pardoning him, but ultimately did not. The fight for his freedom continues. That was until 2025 when Donald Trump ultimately granted him a presidential pardon on his first day in office. What do you think? Was Ross Ulbricht a cybercriminal mastermind or a visionary punished too harshly? Leave your thoughts below. Like, comment, and subscribe for more pop culture poetry and deep dives into true crime and real-world events.